Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the One Complete Nerd podcast. I am your host, Pete, and this is Sam.
Hello, everyone.
And this week we have been playing VR.
Yes, I decided to share my VR experience with Peter.
Well, the game we've been playing on VR, you can't really do on your own.
I mean, you can give it a go, and I'm sure as hell gave it my best shot at points, but...
You're going to... Okay, well, we need to explain to people what this game is, and then people can judge for themselves whether you can play it alone. The game I have been playfully referring to as the bomb game, and everybody that I know that plays this game refers to it as the bomb game, is called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
Great game. It's not exactly something you sit down and relax to, though.
No, it's a tense game. It's a party game, and it works like really well in that kind of situation. But you need afterwards time to decompress. This is not a chill out game, not in the slightest.
I mean, it can be if you have no self-preservation or no feelings of self-preservation, or like you just don't care. But for people such as myself that gets very immersed in just in games in general, but like VR is the next step, obviously. Like normal people get immersed in VR. I'm like, I am in VR. Like that's my world. So like in this game where your objective is to defuse a bomb, I get a bit tense, just a little bit.
So I will say that we've both played this game before. So today was the first time we played this game together.
Yeah.
But both of us have played this game before today, but separately. Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is not exclusively for VR. It is available on Steam in a 2D version. You can play it just on a laptop or whatever.
Is it? How do you know that?
The first time I played it, we had 4 players. One person has a laptop on one side of the room, and then everybody else has the manual on how to dispose of the bomb on the other side of the room. So it's if anybody is interested in playing Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, then it is available both as Oculus Quest, but also as a laptop. Just as a Steam game.
Yeah, I don't think it's specific to Oculus either. I think it's on quite a few VR systems. But I know it's also not a new game, but it's something I've been wanting to play for a long time. Like I think I've seen someone play it, like a friend play it on their Facebook account, and that was it. And I was like, I want to give that a go. And I was like, I need to get VR. So like I eventually got VR, and one of the first things I got was this game. And then we just started this podcast, and I thought, do you know what would be really funny? Watching me panic while trying to defuse a bomb.
So we did play, and we did screen capture and record the audio for our play. And if we can figure out how to get the files off of the Oculus Rift, then we will hopefully be uploading those as a separate bonus bit of content to our YouTube channel. For those that listen to us on in other places like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, head on over to our YouTube and subscribe, and you can watch the video, hopefully, of us panicking and exploding. And
I think Cake was involved.
And there was Cake, and occasionally defusing a bomb, when we got around to it. So that hopefully there's bonus content there. If I do, however, recommend that you stick around here and listen to the rest of the podcast before you head over there, because we're going to explain what this game is if anybody's interested in it.
We both played it separately. So you've played it with friends as 2D. Yeah. I've only played this as VR. I didn't even know it was a 2D game. And my experience with this game was at a New Year's Eve party where we'd had drinks and a lot of people played, not at the same time. So like everyone was taking their turns. So I played maybe two games, and then I was like, I'm going to go back to the party. But like most of the game's been completed. So according to this, I've done quite a lot of bomb disfusal. I have, in fact, not done this. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to bomb disfusal. But,
yeah.
As Peter soon realised, and I was like, what the hell's a wire?
Yeah, I mean, like, communication is everything in this game. If you can't communicate with another person, maybe set this aside.
Yeah, we do great with communication. We clearly understand the instructions we give each other
all the time.
Didn't blow up once as a result.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, this is like
a great... we play Battlefield very differently, you and I.
Yeah. Like, this is a great like team building exercise for like families couples. I mean, this would be a great motivational team game for like a work scenario where you've got like an office with 5 people in it and you've got to try and defuse bombs together.
That sounds great. I should try that.
Yeah, but essentially the way that the game works is that one person either has a laptop or is wearing a VR headset, and they can see the bomb, and they can see various different modules, each that does a different thing, and then there are extra bits stuck to the outside of the bomb, as well as the big timer on the front. So the bomb might have like excess batteries or different ports or
different
serial numbers and things like that. And then the modules, the things that you actually have to interact with, is each diffused by a page in the manual. And everybody that's outside of the bomb diffusal room is like, on the radio headset, there's they imagine the world that we're playing in here.
Yeah.
It's like they're on the radio, they're back in the computer room, and they're actually figuring out. And those are the experts, because you don't risk the life of the experts. You risk the life of the person
of the intern that decided to join that week.
Absolutely. If you're very clever and can defuse bombs, you don't want to actually be defusing bombs in case you make a mistake. You want somebody who's cool and calm under pressure and can follow orders.
Why were we given a bomb defusal job then?
You brought this game to me, Sam.
That's true, yeah.
So yeah, that expert that's got the manual, it says things like, if there is a button, if there is a battery, go to step 2, and if the color is yellow, go to the next step. So you might be cutting wires, you might be pressing buttons, you might be diffusing, listening to Morse code or following a sequence.
Yeah, all these different codes and different ways of diffusing things. Yeah. Lots of different modules. But I do love the fact that you imply that on one hand, the person who defused the bomb is expendable and just doesn't care, and the guy in the room is the expert. So no matter which one of us is doing the air quote expert part of things, is we weren't really an expert. It's very, very interesting. But yeah, with the modules and how they work, it's fascinating to see how quickly other people view things. So there's one section which was like, describe to me some symbols, and I immediately went, Disney symbol, and Pete went, what? Or no, what was the prime one? I was trying to describe a symbol, and the best I could come up with was the robot from The Incredibles before it's upgraded.
So the robot from The Incredibles was actually a really good shout for that one, because I've heard people call that a dog.
A what?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like one of the symbols is quite clearly is the Disney font, and it's like a curly swirl.
Yeah.
So like TM Disney. That is quite obviously like you call that the Disney one.
Or there's or upside down question mark, which is pretty simple.
Some really obvious symbols, and some of them like require some explanation. And the best way to play this game is to play several times in a row. The session only lasts like 3 to 5 minutes. You've got to diffuse all these things, so you very quickly develop your own shorthand of explaining what the hell's going on.
It's the incredible robot. It's the what?
Yeah, and as long as you can explain that, and as long as the other person can understand that, that's fine.
Yeah, because once you've elaborated that, hey, this is the Incredibles robot, they'll know.
Yeah, from that point on, you've got your own secret language that allows you to defuse bombs. So when we just played this, we played just before we started recording the podcast. We played like 2 hours of, well, an hour and a half of bomb disposaling, and
this implies that we disposed like quite a few bombs. That's not the case.
No, I think we got like 5 or 6.
I think we got we had 2 goes each, 3 goes each.
You are better at diffusing the bomb and me reading the decoding manual than I am at diffusing the bomb and you reading the manual. Because I think my communication, you don't seem to understand what I'm trying to explain to you sometimes. No. So,
well, when I'm reading the instructions, it's like, hey, there's this thing, and I'm like, what? So when I'm on the bomb, is I listen to the instructions that you give me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's that and that's that. But when I'm the one reading the instructions, I'm like, okay, what do you see? Which throws things out of whack.
Yeah. We also are playing this game on hard mode, because the time I played this beforehand, I was on a team of people that were all had separate sheets of paper, and one person had the wires in front of them, and the next person had the symbols in front of them, and the next person has the Morse code in front of them, and one person can sit and understand that module, how it works, and ask just little vague little questions that might be useful, like, is the batteries on the outside of the bomb?
What colours are the wires?
What colour are the wires?
Yeah, so what you're saying is you got like different experts in different modules.
Yeah.
I did notice that when we had the house party that like different people just understood. Like there was a Venn diagram, I think, at one point, and I know Venn diagrams, but this was a complex one, and I was like, what on earth am I looking at? And someone who was like not an actual mathematician, but like he does maths as like a uni course, just was like, yep, it's this, and knew instantly.
So again, like when you've got the team, you split them up into, put the best people in the best places, because you got a timer, you got a high score speed.
5 minutes.
Yeah, you've got a time to beat. You get the time down as fast as possible and streamline your way through the.
So what you're saying is hard mode is the fact that we didn't have a team, we just had the two of us.
Yeah, but me on my own, when I'm just like reading a paragraph of things and trying to decode it with my mind, the game is called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. So like, it's really important that you keep talking, but I was just dead silent, just reading something.
I think there's a couple of moments during the recording of the Let's Play, should we call it? Let's just call it Let's Play.
Yeah.
That is like this silence, and I just started singing and dancing because I'm nervous.
Because you don't want to explode.
Yeah. It's like, keep talking and explode. Surely if I keep talking, the time will stop. It's not working. It's not working.
And then there's extra things in the room that make it even more difficult. Like there's an alarm that goes off.
The alarm, man. Jesus,
and sometimes the lights just turn off on you randomly for some reason.
Well, the lights I can deal with. It's just like, oh, okay, intermission. Do 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 do. The alarm proper sets you off because it's like me. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that. I don't like that noise when I wake up in the morning for work. Let alone when I'm defusing a goddamn bomb.
Yeah, no. My first time playing this game, like I say, we had a team, and it is so much easier. So I am pretty proud of how well we did. Some of them, like some of the bombs that we got given, we defused them on the first attempt.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Some of them. Sometimes we defused it on the first attempt. Not always.
Sometimes we had several attempts at the same one because, oh my god, what were they giving us?
I mean, the maze was the worst one. Maze, yeah. But
we play battleships differently, you and I.
Maybe. we should now play battleships and just not understand what's going on.
B3. That's not right. There's no such thing as a B3. Well, I mean there is, but we didn't use the coordinates as the maze as B and 3. No.
And we should have done.
Yeah, looking back,
because that would have been smart.
Yeah, as I was looking at it, I was like, okay, B3, that would have made sense, but I didn't want to change what we were doing. Because like we sort of reached an equilibrium where we were like, okay, this is how we'll do it.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to just be like, hey, so you know how that system we just figured out? Yeah, let's scrap that and do this instead.
We were wrong. let's be honest. We were wrong.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy the game. It's really fun. And it's a party game, so it doesn't come out as often, But I recommend that people that enjoy high stress trust exercises give this a go.
Yeah, because who likes to spend their precious time off of work and school in high tension, stressful trust exercises?
Yeah, no, I mean it was a fun game. I really enjoyed it.
That's the thing. Is like we're describing it as stressful, and some people might say that as unenjoyable. But like, it's a case of like, oh my god, boom, right, okay, god damn it, and like all that tension just disappears.
Yeah, but people go parachuting for fun. Like that is a stressful situation that people enjoy doing. Like adrenaline junkies. Adrenaline's a real thing, and people enjoy adrenaline sometimes.
Yeah, there's a reason we have adrenaline junkies and people that actively try to find situations such as roller coasters where you get an adrenaline rush and it makes you feel good. So yeah, I get what you mean with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like on top of that, in terms of games, I'm still down a computer, so I've not had any real access to games. But we have been playing Minecraft because my old laptop, which still runs like the bare minimum needed for Minecraft. We've been playing that a lot.
Yeah.
Because I have nothing else to play. But again, I don't want every week to turn into, hey, this is what I watched on Netflix, or like, this is the Netflix podcast. But I've had nothing else recently. Mm. So again, still been binge watching South Park and painting my Warhammer models, which, I had a Warhammer game today. So I've been chilled, but in terms of Minecraft, we've been going ham because I've had nothing else to play for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, I've never inverted commas completed Minecraft. I get vaguely partway through. I usually explore and go like treasure hunting because you can find treasure maps and like plunder pirate ships and like the ancient temples and stuff like that. I normally like wander around and rob all the villagers of all their goods.
You pillager.
I just pillage, and they're perfectly happy because I don't attack them. And then I will like go mining diamonds, and I'll get a lot of cobblestone, and then I'll be like, oh, I've got this cobblestone, let's build a castle. And then partway through building the castle, I'm like, this is a lot of work, and then I restart and do it again on a different seed. That's kind of how I usually play Minecraft, and it's really bad. So I've never I've been to the Nether, but I've never found a fortress. I've never been to the end. I've never done these things. And because I've now got another person in the world with me, and I'm now actually upping my game with I'm building things that I know another person can see.
Yeah.
I'm not really one to make art in a void. I don't know, to call it art.
Yeah, you don't do art to do art. You do it to show someone. Well, it's the same. Is people always compare Minecraft to Lego or stickle bricks, or whatever you want to call it, some sort of building mechanic. The thing I love to say about Minecraft is that it's less like Lego because you can play with Lego. It's more like a model train set. You build it to show someone, and you can go, hey, look at my model train set, or hey, look at my Minecraft world, and then move on to the next thing.
Old school Lego used to be like that though. I'm talking pre-90s. Before they got brand deals and got in with Star Wars and stuff, and when it was just bricks and wheels and stuff, that was I've built a thing, and then you'd show people look what thing, look how clever I am. Yeah. And then because it wasn't that easy to be that creative, they had to then put in some weird shaped bricks and stuff to make you be creative, and it did. These days, a lot of the creativity, the freedom of creativity, is lost on Lego, and you can build some cool stuff. You can build a Death Star, you can build a
cruiser,
an airplane,
all these different things.
But they come with very specifically shaped bricks
and instructions,
and detailed instructions and all this sort of stuff. Which is it's cool to look at, and it's expensive. My brother has at his house. They have the Walt Disney Castle, which is 3 foot tall. And it's a massive build, and each of the different floors is dedicated for a different princess, and there's a Rapunzel room and a Snow White room and stuff like that. And I love playing with Lego. It's just expensive now. That's the only sort.
Yeah. So I've found so I've been getting, like I said before, I've been getting back into Warhammer. So when I was a kid, my father and I used to paint stuff together, models and things, and then we were like, hey, what's this model? It's Warhammer. So we painted them together. We painted the Black Templars because I liked black and white, and that's just what we did. But I recently got back into it because friends of mine, co-workers and friends, have been like, hey, you should try this since you have the models. And I was like, oh, I'm digging them out the attic, blew the dust off them, and looked at them and went, right, you need stripping down. Stripped them down of the paint and bought some new models, and I've just been going ham on them while binge watching shows because I've, again, no games. But today I had a game and it was really interesting. But what kept happening is that people kept coming up and saying, hey, sorry to interrupt your game, can I just have a look at those models? I'm like, yeah. And I showed them my models and they're like, how long does this take? I'm like, quite a while. And I said, what do you do? And I just tell them that I'm just watching or listening to stuff while I paint. And I feel like you mentioned before that the creativity of the Lego is sort of lost because you've got instructions.
Yeah.
Warhammer's similar in the sense that so you can change the poses.
Yeah.
And you can change the weapons they have and things like that. So you can customize them. but they are still essentially this model.
Mm-hmm.
And the most you can customize them is the painting.
Yeah. So
with the comparison we were saying before, where the creativity sort of streamlined, Warhammer sort of streamlined, kind of, but then like it changes based on how you paint it.
Yeah, and Warhammer, there's so much art that comes with the books, like so many pictures of the models. It works as an advert because it's trying to sell you the models, but you get so many examples of how this is painted correctly, and
what's the beautiful thing is like there's no air quote correct way, as long as you are happy with the aesthetics of your own army, and you don't have to match, but as long as you feel like there's a cohesion to them, maybe. Yeah, I mean, if you play tournaments, so that's the thing is if you're playing with friends, like none of it matters.
Yeah,
because you're playing with friends. It's when you get to tournaments, which I keep getting warned. Like if you play with tournaments, you're gonna have to change this base size. You can't play with that color. You can't do that. And I'm like, what's the point in playing tournaments? And it's competitive.
Yeah.
So like you need to do everything correctly.
I think when you're sinking that much money into a hobby, people want to prove that they're good at it.
Yeah. So that was the original point, which I was actually sort of floundering on. You said it's expensive. Warhammer's the same. It's like I've just bought myself today a couple of models.
Yeah.
And they were like 30 quid for 5 models.
And when you're spending that kind of money on a model, you do want to get them out as often as you can and you do want to put the time and the effort into your own creative process.
Yeah.
And just like I said before, like you don't want to create art in a vacuum. You want to create cool looking models, and you want them to look cool for yourself. You want I want to be proud of my army. But that moment when somebody comes up to you and goes, "Oh, can I have a look at that? So cool! How did you do this?" That's a cool moment.
That's a moment of like, someone appreciates what I did.
Yeah.
Well, because I know I think we mentioned in the previous podcast that I came around here and we were watching Lord of the Rings, and I was painting a model while doing that.
Yeah.
And we ended up like, I think there was a situation where there was a vape cloud in the background.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, hang on a second, you immediately got the phone out and started taking photos because of your photography background or film photography background. And I was like, okay, cool. So I guess we're doing a photo shoot for my models now.
It just looked cool in the moment, like the way you put the light and the way that you'd put the way that the vape just looked like very dramatic. Because I didn't know any context of what was going on, my brain went to like Robot Wars.
Yeah.
Did you watch? Please tell me you watched Robot Wars.
Of course I watched Robot Wars as a kid. Not so much when Dara O'Brien took over, because I like him as a stand-up. I don't like him that much as a TV presenter. Mostly because he's so funny that I can't take anything he watches seriously.
I didn't even know Dara O'Brien took over Robot Wars.
Wow.
I mean, it was always Craig Charles when I was a kid.
Craig, that was I was stalling to remember his name. Yeah, Craig Charles. That's the guy I loved growing up as a kid. And he's synonymous with Robot Wars. So I've seen him in other stuff now, and I'm like, go back to Robot Wars. What are you doing?
Craig Charles, as far as I'm aware, Craig Charles is 3 things. He's Red Dwarf, he's Robot Wars, and he's a DJ, like a Radio 1 DJ. And other than that, I don't know what else he does.
I think he's done other appearances, but
yeah, I mean, he's an actor. He's worked in other things, and they just haven't filtered their way through to me.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is like that sort of tells you everything. Is like you say his name, and you go, he's been in other things, which sort of says it all. So like my prime example is I forget his name, the guy who did the Bourne films. The first 3.
Jason.
Bourne, yeah. I was going to say Statham then. I almost said Statham. I was like, no, Sam, get your head straight.
You know who it is? It's Matt Damon.
It is Matt Damon, yeah.
Matt Damon.
Why are you saying it like that?
I've been making Team America quotes all afternoon. America, F yeah. I'm not going to swear that strongly on the podcast. You've not seen Team America?
No.
So every time I go, America, F yeah.
It's like, I know that's from that movie, sorry.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that's on the list and it's like, right, well, I'm going to get it. But I can't find it on any streaming services. And anywhere.
I don't think we still have it. We used to have it on VHS.
I don't have a VHS player anymore.
we might have got rid of it because it was a VHS.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like it's been on in the back of my mind for so long. Like when it was popular at the time, I sort of was like, I'm not that into,
horribly. Yeah, it's horribly offensive.
Now it is beyond. Yeah. No, in fact, now that I think about it, no wonder it's not on any streaming services.
Well, yeah, it's King Jong Il, the one the two previous to the current North Korean leader.
Yeah, the last two eternal rulers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's two eternal rulers previous, and he wants to prove to America that he's dangerous, so he gets some nukes. And then there's a peace summit, and the actors are all trying to defend him, and the all the different puppets of all the different actors, and one of them is Matt Damon, and for no reason, the Matt Damon puppet just stares at the camera and goes, Matt Damon, every time he's on screen.
No, I'm not.
All of his lines just Matt Damon. And Matt Damon hates it. Well, I've seen him people doing it to him, and he's complaining online. It's just, I'm sure he's
if someone said my name in a mocking tone, and I'm not even famous. All I do is make videos and podcasts on the internet, and if someone went, damn, I'd want to slap him because that's rude.
And he's like.
And he's done some good work.
Yeah, he's Oscar nominated and Oscar winning. I think he won an Oscar or what? Good Will Hunting. I don't know if he won or nominated.
That's your expertise.
Pretty sure Good Will Hunting he won the Oscar for that. I might be wrong.
But again, so my original point of Matt Damon, which I'm not going to be able to say without saying that now, you've ruined him for me, is whenever I see him in anything, I don't think, oh, Matt Damon is playing blank. I think Jason Bourne is in the wrong universe.
Oh yeah, that's a huge issue. Casting is a big thing, and there's a whole minefield between casting a known actor and casting an unknown actor. If I see Sigourney Weaver in something, obviously not Alien, but my mind jumps to, and she's a great actress, and she's done some great work, but my mind jumps to, you just want to steal some Alien magic. You just want to remind people Alien was a good film, and we got the same actors.
I look at it a bit differently. So, some people might think about that. I prefer to think of it as, it's not that they want to steal that actor's clout or their skills or anything like that, which, I mean, what else would you use an actor for? But it's a case of, that role I saw you in struck me to the point where I see you as that character. So I see Matt Damon as Jason Bourne because he is Jason Bourne, and Jason Bourne is in a different film.
A definitive for their career.
Yeah. So I and possibly some other people in the world will see Matt Damon and go, that's Jason Bourne, not Matt Damon.
Yeah.
The same with, I'm trying to think of, what's his face? No, that's a bad example because he's actually really good in a lot of things. I'm thinking of Bruce Willis plays.
Bruce Willis is
in Die Hard.
John McClane in Die Hard. Yeah.
I'm just I know his name. See, that's a weird one. So Bruce Willis is John McClane, and John McClane is Bruce Willis, but it's similar to the Matt Damon thing where I see Bruce Willis playing something and I'll go, that's the guy from Die Hard, not that's Bruce Willis. I still see the character, but I've got the character name wrong. Yeah,
and actors will go their entire career trying to break away from that typecast thing. But smaller name actors, and there's a lot of actors that could dissolve themselves into a character, and that, to me, that's the sign of a truly good actor, is that that you forget who they are. Actors like Philip Seymour Hoffman and Joaquin Phoenix, those are the kind of actors where you forget who the person is, and you have a character, and you really believe the character every time you see them.
Yeah.
And to a lesser extent, but also Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks, and is sometimes a little bit distracting. And anything you see him in, it's great, but you're aware that you're watching Tom Hanks. I often especially for leading role positions, I usually like a no-name actor or an actor that I've not had a lot of screen time with, because then that actor becomes that character for me. I definitely think this is easier for voice actors, especially voice actors with more of a versatile range. I mean, some voice actors, they have their voice and that is the voice that they use and that's what they get cast for. But voice actors with a versatile range, because you're not seeing their face, you're just seeing an aspect and a quality of their voice. They can be so many people and they can dissolve into the background.
Yeah.
So much better.
Like with games and things like that.
Like games, animation.
Well, I mean, animation in general. So Avatar: Last Airbender and Avatar: Korra, amazing voice acting. And they made the characters live, because like you can animate a character and draw a character.
Yeah.
And it can be the best animation ever. But if they talk, "Hi, my name is Ang, and I'd like to be the best," it's just like it's gonna kill the character, because you realise that you can tell it's someone behind the screen. Genie from Aladdin.
Yeah.
Jeez, I cannot believe
Robin Wilson.
Thank you.
Williams. Sorry.
Robert Williams. Outstanding. Like they had to animate new things because he brought the character to life so much. He'd improv, and the animation cast were like, "I guess we're doing this now." So, like, he was amazing. But when you talk about voice acting, I feel like you have to mention anime, because it's such a serious industry in Japan for anime. Yeah. Like, so you said before, you get people that have a variety of voices. So a young woman will come out of voice acting school specifically to be an anime character. Yeah. Will have a range from small 10-year-old girl, like innocent, to gruff. Well, not necessarily gruff, like a bit of an exaggeration, but like to guys that are quite manly, or like boy charm, things like that. And it's fascinating to me that like a lot of people mock, like I've seen a lot of people mock how seriously they take Japanese voice acting, but then they listen to dubs and they mock that for being like unimaginative and like dull. But I think it's really interesting that when you talk about voice acting, that like they take it so seriously over there that they realize they are the character. Like the voice is the character. Yeah, and the Japanese, the thing with anime is that the vast majority of it is aimed at teenagers. I mean, that's a sweeping generalization, but there is a certain style of what makes money in Japan then translates over to America, because obviously the American companies that are then going to spend the money to import this, they want a surefire hit. They want something that's going to do well. So they pick the stuff that makes lots of money. And that usually is a certain type and style, and the humor that goes with that doesn't always translate perfectly. And I definitely think that that's what puts the majority of people that are put off by the Japanese acting, is because it's a style, and because it's not a naturalistic style. It is, it's a wacky comedy style. They're very aware that it's an animation and there's a giant demon, interdimensional demons who are best friends with 10-year-old schoolgirls. Like, they are aware. What have you been watching? They're aware that. No, back up. I want to know the source of this one. What have you been watching? I'm thinking like Bleach. The first episode of Bleach, Rukia stood there. She looks like like the second, third season when she comes through to the human world and she's got to like go to school and she looks like she's 12-year-old girl, and then she's fighting in the evening. She's fighting like interdimensional spirit monsters. Right. Okay. I thought you meant befriending spiritual monsters. I'm like, what on earth? Okay. I'm sure that anime is out there. The anime I just described, I'm sure it's out there. It must be out there somewhere. And this is why anime can be like a minefield. Trying to introduce a new person to anime is difficult, because a lot of the Western assumptions about anything that is animated is that it is for children. Well, they just see it as cartoons. Cartoons for kids. Yeah. And even cartoons aren't always for kids. Tom and Jerry. It's for kids, but guess what? Not for kids no more. Horribly violent. But no, it's they're all still great. But the adults that grow up with those kind of, I mean, like Pokemon and stuff, like
we have a shelf filled with little Pokemon because my
You do.
fiance loves Pokemon. But anime can get dark. Anime can get like emotional, and it has the same range of like film, has the same range of video games. You know, it's like oh, saying you don't like anime is like saying you don't like books.
Yeah, it's people mistake it as like, yes, there is an art style. So the thing with anime is so you have anime, which is like saying you have games or like you said, books, but then you have different styles. So you have comedy, you have action, you have violence. I mean, you have everything you could think of. And then, of course, in them, you have styles. So is it a cute one as well? Or is it, because a lot of people see like, oh, it's Japanese, therefore it's going to be some anime schoolgirl. I'm like, yeah, sure, they might be set in a school, but that doesn't mean it's going to be...
Yeah, there's certain tropes that work and make money. And that's why they get repeated, because these companies want a safe bet and they know that it's going to make money. But I would just as easily say that, you know, anime isn't for everyone.
I air quote disagree in the sense that there's an anime out there for everyone. Like that's the thing, is there are so many types and shows that there is literally something for anyone with any taste.
Yeah.
But you do have to look past the fact that it's an animated cartoon.
Yeah. And
which isn't necessarily always the case anymore. Sometimes it's 3D model stuff. Like there's an anime called Kingdom where a lot of it is 2D drawn, but there's so many models running around because it's an army-based thing that it has a lot of 3D models, which some people think is from a game.
Yeah, I'm not super keen on like the all 3D style of anime.
No, I mean
I much prefer the 2D, the old school. And like the Studio Ghibli sort of style.
Oh, studio. But that's the thing. Again, if I was to show someone who appreciates art or movies, is I go, if you've never seen an anime, watch a Studio
Ghibli. Yeah.
And they go, why? I said, because you'll just appreciate what it is.
Yeah.
And then they come back to me and said, I hate it, and they're like, why? Because it's all cartoony. But yes, guess what? It was technically a cartoon.
Yeah, and like that, the art style that Studio Ghibli, I really enjoy that art style, and some of their films are childish and like they're designed to be childish, but some of them have got quite adult dark themes.
Like the only ones I've seen have been Spirited Away, which has got some very, very dark themes if you look into it. But yeah, then I've seen Owl's Moving Castle, and that's it.
Yeah, the view from our back bedroom window looks like the hills from Howl's Moving Castle. It looks like the view from the hat shop. And every time I stand in my back bedroom, I think about that movie, and I really like that movie. And I really appreciate the back bedroom just for the view.
Nothing else in the room. You can room everything out and just have like a rocking chair and a table for like a glass of water. You just stare at the view.
Yeah, all it needs is a steam train rolling past and a cloudy day, because the hills are there. It just looks like. And anybody that's seen the opening to Howl's Moving Castle where she's stitching,
you know exactly,
you know exactly what
and again, every film on the Studio Ghibli is on the list.
On the list,
it's on the list.
I've got a couple up on my DVD shelf.
Well, the thing is a lot like there's quite a few of them on Netflix and stuff at the moment.
Yeah.
So Princess Mononoke is, I mean, goddamn, the thumbnail for it on Netflix is a woman covered in blood around her mouth. I assume she's eaten something recently, probably alive.
Princess Mononoke is my favourite Studio Ghibli. Howl's Moving Castle is probably second. And beyond that, I probably don't have a list of an order of what they're going. But Mononoke is my favourite. The soundtrack is really good, and I mean, the theme is there's a touch of like environmentalism, but it's set in like feudal era Japan where they're just discovering like riflery.
So around the Edo period.
Yeah, but.
Which sort of goes, by the way, I'm also a history note.
Yeah, but like the issues that they were dealing with back then are almost the same as issues we were dealing with now, and everything that's like sci-fi and fantasy and historical, you can use those platforms to talk about issues that are going on in current society, but you can like take that step back and just be like, look at this, this problem that is a problem and has always been a problem and always will be a problem. We need to deal with it. And like in this particular case, it's environmentalism. but it's not too preachy, and the main characters and the actual story that they're going through, really, like, it's personal. It's not like we need to save the world from, being destroyed. It's like we need to save ourselves from the bad environment. It's like it's a personal story. Anyway, we've been rambling for quite a while now, so it's probably best we wrap this up. If you want to head over to our YouTube channel, the One Complete Nerd YouTube channel, you can watch us play the bomb game, as I call it, the Keep Talking and No One Explodes game that we played on Sam's Oculus Quest. I'm pretty sure it's still available on Steam if anybody wants to try it and play it.
It's available on Steam.
Yeah, we're not getting monetized for this, so this is a recommendation.
This is a recommendation, not a
plug.
A plug. Well, it's a plug, but it's not like a paid one. Yeah, spade one. So it's on Steam, both VR and not. It's on Oculus Store. I don't know about other VR headset stores, but I know it's on those two, and it's not expensive.
No.
I assume the VR one is incredibly cheap.
I recommend downloading the paper manual and printing it out.
Yeah, it's more
so that you can touch it and like pick up a piece of paper and like have two separate things next to you. Scrolling through it on a PDF was tough because I couldn't find the pages I needed.
Yeah, so when we were at the party, the thing is that someone spilled. I printed it out so we could have the other thing.
Yeah.
Someone spilled a drink all over it, completely destroyed it, and we were like, right, well, I guess we aren't playing then. We turned the game on to see what it looked like, and we're like, oh, we can just look at it online.
Yeah.
Which, of course, I should have realised that if I hadn't been drinking, because I'd already printed it off from that website.
Yeah, well done. But, I prefer it with the paper, and I would play it again. Probably let's put a team together next time before we play it, instead of just the two of us. Cause, yeah, it was stressful on my own.
I thought it was all right. Wasn't that bad.
Wait till you get, like, I've played some of the higher levels where you've got, like, 2 sets of Morse code to deal with. That's a stressful situation. You need 2 different people figuring out what the word is and how the code works, So, yeah.
Right. Well, I've enjoyed talking about some of my favourite topics.
Yeah.
We brushed on something: Warhammer, anime, voice acting, movies, gaming. So it's been enjoyable, and I'm quite looking forward to seeing you in the next podcast.
Yeah. Don't know what it's about yet.
No, we'll have to think of something.
Yeah.
I'm sure, hopefully by then I'll have a computer, and I'll be able to update you on all the games I'm going to be playing, because I know we touched on trailers last time, and I'm looking forward to playing some of them when they come out, which is in early 2022. This has been the One Complete Nerd podcast, and I hope you've enjoyed episode 4.